Carl, a quick turnaround again until you're back in action tomorrow. Obviously, your first home game in charge as well. But first off the back of Wednesday, how has the sort of time looked since then in terms of helping the boys recover? Because obviously it's, as we say, a very short amount of time.
It was just all about recovery, to be honest. So we travelled back on Thursday. The lads got back about mid-afternoon. So we give them a little bit of extra time this morning to report. And then it's just been a pure detailed day. No real load in them physically. Just trying to keep them right and ready to go again. And then obviously we have a good break in which we can increase the intensity of the sessions and do a lot of tactical stuff through the week.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, of course, it's your first home game in charge as manager, but how much are you just looking forward to that after some lengthy away trips, especially on Wednesday?
Yeah, it's obviously really nice to get it home. You know, I don't want too much made of it. You know, for me, it's just another game. It's another game that we want to win, regardless of whether it's home or away. But obviously, it's good for the players to get in familiar surroundings on that pitch. Big pitch, we can move the ball around and hopefully see more of our patterns emerge. So yeah, obviously the long midweek travel isn't ideal, but it is what it is, and the boys dealt with it brilliantly, and now they can enjoy, you know, the comforts of home and hopefully put on a good show for the fans.
Yeah, and on tomorrow's game, of course, Solihull making the trip up to Tyneside. They're always a team that have close fought games against you. Obviously last season with the trophy final and the games in the league as well. So no easy task for you tomorrow.
No, really tough game. You know, Solihull are a really difficult opponent. You know, they're fantastic on the transition. They've got real athletic players. I think last season when they beat us here, I think their athleticism and their ability in 1v1 situations was something that we looked at and admired, to be fair. So the boys are well aware that in those moments we have to be combative and we have to give everything, because they are really good at exploiting the turnover, like they did at Barnet, who are a good possession side, who we want to play in a similar manner too. So yeah, there are defensive aspects of our game have to be spot on, but I've always felt Solihull are a real difficult side, one of the best in this division, and they have been consistent for many years, so it's a real tough test for us.
In terms of the sort of team news front, obviously Charlie came off the bench late on Wednesday and then went back off, I think, after about 10 minutes or so. Looked like he'd maybe pulled up with a bit of an issue, but what's the situation on him at the minute?
Disappointed for Charles. He has a little tweak in his quad, so it's not as bad as what we initially thought. So hopefully it'll be only short term, 2 to 3 weeks. For him, it's just trying to stay as positive as possible, because he's been fantastic for me since I come in. Not just, you know, his performances and his effort on the pitch in training and in games, but just his general demeanour around the group. You know, he's a great lad, and I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know him and working with him. So we look forward to getting him back really quickly. It's not a real serious one. And then we've got, you know, players coming back. We've seen Tinks in and around the squad, but we were so good defensively the other day. It just gives us an option. So these are the difficult decisions that are starting to arise now for me as players come back, and this is where, as a manager, you know, you really earn your money, because you have to have those honest conversations. But that's all I can be, you know, honest, and pick a team that I feel is capable of getting 3 points on the day.
Yeah, and you mentioned the aspect of management there. I suppose there's this new in terms of team selection. Obviously, you played a role in it as coach beforehand, but now I suppose being the final decision maker in that, how are you finding things, especially when lads have been doing well at the minute, and so obviously lads are going to be disappointed if they do drop out the squad, but you've got faces coming back in as well who can add something to the team as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this was something I addressed with the group when I first took over. The size of the squad and the quality of the depth that we have, there's going to be disappointment and there's going to be decisions that I make where lads aren't happy with, but ultimately I have to do what's best for the football club and get 3 points. I think all I can be is honest, and that's what I want to be from the off. You know, if players aren't playing or they're not being picked, even if they have had great games in previous games, it might be a tactical thing, and I've got to let them know that. And if there's areas that they need to work on to get back into the team, they need to be made aware of what they are. You can't just leave a player out and not give them an excuse or a reason why. You know, I will always tell a player why he's not playing, and if there is anything that he can do to get back in the side, then I'll tell him that. And that is the unfortunate thing about management. You know, sometimes you're making decisions on players who are so valuable to the group and have played well. you maybe have to leave them out. But yeah, I'll be honest with them. I've told them from the off, and that's all I can be.